Guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll guide you through a step-by-step process on how to create this transition effect in Figma. This was an idea I got a while ago and I tried it out and it came out really nice, so I thought to share with you guys. So before we proceed, please consider subscribing and turn on your notification bell to receive more amazing videos like this from this channel. So let's dive right into the tutorial. So this is the design we're going to be working with, and the first thing we want to do is to drag out one of the images. Now we'll be starting with the first image. So after bringing out your image, you drag out a frame. Set it to the width of 41 pixels and the height of your image. Let it be the same height with your image. Then after doing that, you proceed to move your frame inside the image. Mind you, this image is inside a frame, so that frame is holding the image. The image is not standing alone. So after doing that, you proceed to duplicate the frame. Duplicate it 4 times plus the first one, making it 5. Then space them. Make sure they are well aligned. So after spacing them, proceed to drag out another frame. This time around, the frame is going to be an horizontal frame. Then set it to the width of your image. And set the height to 38 pixels. After doing that, move the frame inside your image and start duplicating the frame. Duplicate it multiple times. And make sure the spacing between them is even. Select the horizontal frames, then proceed to select the vertical frames too. So after selecting them, frame them so they're all in a single frame now. Then start moving the vertical frames. Start bringing them to the front. Right click and click on bring to front. So all the vertical frames are now at the top of the horizontal frames. So now select the first frame at the top, leave the next one behind, select the third one, leave the fourth one, select the fifth one, leave the sixth one, then move them outside the main frame, holding all of them. Move it outside the frame. So you do the same thing for the other many frames left in the frame. Then proceed to start moving the vertical frames outside the main frame. Move them to the top. Then after that, select the main frame holding all the mini frames. After selecting it, give it a name. Then after doing that, move to the right panel and clip content. So now we're done with that. Now that frame holding all the mini frames, now drag it out and delete the picture. We delete the image, we don't need it anymore. Then drag it on top of the image, the first image. Make sure it is on top of the first image. Don't forget that there's a frame holding our image. Don't forget that. So now we're moving the frame holding the mini frames. Now we're moving it inside the frame holding the image there. So now duplicate the frame holding our mini frames. Duplicate it, or the frame carrying our mini frames. Duplicate it, then drag it to the other image at the top, because these two images have the same width and the same height size. So now you duplicate your frame holding the mini frame, then you drag it to the other frame at the top. So since we can't use the frame we used for the other two images for this other one, we have to repeat the same process. Since the other frame is longer, we'll have to repeat the same process for this one. So you do it just like we did the previous one. So in order not to get confused, make sure you name your images, you name every frame you use. Make sure you give it a name so you can easily identify it in your design tree. Okay, so now that we're done with this other image, now the next thing we want to do is to bring the other images we're going to be transitioning to. Make sure you have those images ready. So these are my own images. Now these are the images I'll be using. So now you drag the first image inside the first frame. I named my images. I named all the frames I used so I can find them easily in design tree. So now after you've placed the image on top of the frame, now send it to the back. After sending it to the back, move to the right panel and make the pass through of that image, make it 0. Make the pass through of the image 0. Then proceed to the next frame. Take your image, move your image inside the second frame in the center. Then send it to the back, move to the right panel, set the pass through to 0%. So we're done with that. Now let's move to the third frame, the third image. So move it inside the third frame. Right click on the image, send to the back, set the pass through to 0. So I don't that's all about that. Then duplicate the main frame. Duplicate your main frame. Then name it. Duplicate your main frame and give the second frame a name. So in order not to get confused, make sure you name your images, you name every frame you use. What we'll be doing now is I'll change the color of this frame, of the main frame, to black. Now our many frames are color white, so I can easily access them. That's why I'm changing the color, the background color of my frame. So now, after changing the background color, move to the right panel and click on clip content. After doing that, you see all your mini frames will become visible again. So now select the ones at the top, the vertical frames, then move them down. Move them down. Select the one on the right and move them to the left. Select the one on the left and move them to the right. So now select your frame again, move to the right panel and clip content. So repeat the same process for the second image. So click on the second frame, the second image frame, then clip content, move to right panel, click on clip content, select the vertical frames and move them inside, move them down. Then select the horizontal frame on the right, then move them to the left. Select the one on the left and move them to the right. So after doing that, clip content again. So repeat the same process for the third frame or the third image. So now that we're done with that, do you remember that the other time we sent some images to the back in the previous frame? So now what we want to do is to start bringing those images back to the front. After bringing them to the front, you move to the right panel and set the pass through back to 100. So by setting it to 100, it means those images will become visible, because the other time we set the pass through to 0%. So what that does is that it will make the image less visible. So when you set it back to 100, it becomes more visible, that you can see the image. So now you move to the second frame, which is the center frame. You send the image to the front, then change the pass through to 100. After doing that, move to the first frame, send the image to the front, and set the pass through to 100. You can now proceed to change our background color back to white. So this is the final step, prototyping. Now you switch to prototype, select the first arrow in your first frame, then set it to on click, then set it to on click, smart animate, set it to gen 2, then 2000 milliseconds. Repeat the same process for the second frame. So let's see what we've done. Alright guys, so this is how to create a unique image transition effect in Figma. You can try it out by following the steps I used in this video, and also if you need help in any area, you can let me know in the comment section below and I'll attend to them as soon as possible. So don't forget to like this video, and also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done that. And if you have, thank you so much. Alright, see you in my next video. Bye.